Okay, you all know Mabel. Mabel's been a waitress at the diner for 29 years. And she's in there working away, and all of a sudden a weasel comes up, sits down at one of the stools. And she goes, "Oh my God, this is fantastic. I've been here 29 years, and I've never had a weasel come in. What would you want?" "Pop," goes the weasel. I got that from Bill. Okay, okay. So how many of you have been to Hamvention before? How many of you have been to the Hamvention at the Xenia site? Few less people, okay. So tonight my idea is to go through as much as I can about Hamvention, how Kevin Lewis and I have been going for a while. I've been going every year since 2011, and try to give you some insights and some tips. There's no way I can cover everything, because when you go to Hamvention, there's no way you can go to everything. There's just too much that goes on there. So first thing is, I'll give you a quick overview. I'm going to talk about Hamvention. It's a little bit more than a hamfest. Oh yeah, by the way, we're passing out some tickets here. We have door prizes, like good door prizes, and some bad door prizes. But if you get a ticket, everybody gets one ticket. We'll put them in the hat. If you stick to the end, you must be present to win, just like you do at Hamvention here. So we'll talk a little bit about Hamvention, how we plan for it, how I plan for it, and I'm a little OCD, I'll warn you ahead of time. What I pack for, including the backpack I use in walking around, some tips on travels and accommodations out there, talk a little about the main events, talk about other events that go on at the same time, what to do post-Hamvention, and if you cannot make it, there's a lot of things that happen that you can tune into. All right, Hamvention was started is May 17th, 18th, and 19th this year. There's a few people. Who's going this year? A couple people have said they are. Good. We'll have to figure out a place to meet up. It's at the Greene County Fairgrounds and Expo Center. It's out near Dayton, Ohio, a little place called Xenia, which is a little bit east of Dayton. Since 1952, Hamvention's been sponsored by DARA, the Amateur Radio Association. Last year, the attendance was 28,417, so roughly 30,000. This little town explodes at that point. Dayton explodes. Everybody likes Hamvention because a lot of people come in and they spend a lot of money. All right, it's more than a hamfest. You have your traditional flea market on steroids. It's probably the biggest flea market in the United States. Vendors, every major vendor is there. They're inside, they're at the flea market. Really is a great time. They're all introducing new gear. They have the gear on display. They have the reps there you can talk to, the major guys, Kenwood, Icon, Yaesu, Ten-Tech, they're all there. It's international. You'll have people, a lot of people from other countries coming in. It's really just an incredible show. There are forums, as I'll show you a little bit later on. At any one time, there's probably 5 rooms of hands-on demonstrations and in-depth technical discussions going on there. You can get testing. In 2011, some friends of mine who are not hams go to Dayton for the electronics, said, "Hey, do you want to go?" And I said, "Sure." So we flew out there, and my friend has a company van that goes out. And I said, well, gee, if I'm going to go to Dayton, I should maybe take a test. So I went out there and I passed my general and got back into ham radio. I joined this club here and really have had a good time. The next year when we went out, I said I should take another test and pass my extra out there. It was just a lot of fun studying and taking that as a goal. Eyeballs. You'll get to meet hams from every state all over the world, people that you've heard about. We'll talk a little bit about that. Tons of demonstrations going on all over the place. DARA does a lot of awards, best club, people that have given into ham radio. ARL makes a big demonstration there. We'll talk about that in a second. And there's more. QRP, 4 days in May, is out there. Every night there's DX Association dinners going on. Contest University, if you go out on the day before, there's a whole day session. They give you a big binder, prizes, learning all about how to do contests. Even if you don't do contesting, I really recommend you go one time. You'll find out so much more about ham radio there. Cert trainings going on. Auxiliary combinate with DHS is out there. Voice of America is nearby with 1930s transmitters out there you can go look at. Planning. A big thing is where you're going to stay. And often people make the reservations a year in advance, or you can wait to the last minute and find out when people cancel reservations. But every hotel's around there. Kevin and I have been staying at the Dayton Holiday Inn, and we get a special rate for 4 days in May, which is the QRP Club. There are people that stay at the colleges out there with discounted rooms. Some people go and camp. Lots of choices out there. Start looking at QST. Start writing down where you want to go, people you want to see. Hamvention has a great website out there. They'll give you all sorts of tips and flyers on what vendors are going to be there. Social media, if you go out, you do anything with social media, a lot of the vendors start saying, come see me at Flea Market Space here. Other friends say, we'll be there. You can download a map, and you can start talking about to your friends and figuring out a place where to meet. I will say when you go out there, the cell phone service isn't great because you got 30,000 people all trying to use it at the same time. And as you can think about, every frequency out there is in use at the same time. Kevin and I have a couple of family service radios that we use that no one seems to be on the channel we're on, so we can cover a good distance with that. Okay, start making your agenda and timetable. As you'll see, I'll show you in a second what the forums look like. You have to plan around things and figure out what nights you want to go to certain dinners, what you want to do. You look at the weather, because if it's raining, everybody goes inside, and that's when you want to be outside if you can, and vice versa. But also how much time you want to spend at the flea market, how much time you want to spend at the different things inside. You have tons of prize drawings. They have $50,000, $60,000 worth of prize drawings, including full rigs. Most of the prizes you have to be there to win, and they'll send out on Facebook and Twitter and some screens in there if your ticket won. I'll show you what a ticket looks like in a second. The big major prizes, which include a full tower or some of the latest rigs, they will ship to you at the end. You do want to get your tickets ahead of time because I'm cheap. It's $22 in advance or $27 at the door. One ticket's good for all day. New this year, if you just want to go on Sunday, it's free. Okay, let's see, next one. Packing. Check the weather, wear great shoes. I can't tell you, if you look at my boots there, you'll see why in a few minutes. Bring boots, bring plastic bags to put the boots in when you come out of there. Have great shoes. Think about food. If you get hypoglycemic at all, you want to throw a couple candy bars or a couple of protein bars in. Definitely bring a backpack, cash for the flea market, wear sunscreen, wear a hat. I had some free business cards made up so that when the vendors have different drawings or I meet someone, I can give them a quick business card just for ham radio. This is what your ticket is. I already got one this year. You can fill it out ahead of time, and one of the first things you want to do when you go through the gate is find out where they're taking the tickets so you can get in those prize drawings. Backpack. Here's what I keep in my backpack, and if we have time at the end, I'll go through and show it to you. Sunscreen, an extra battery for my phone, HT radio, a hat, an extra bag, one of those grocery bags that's laminated. So if I get a lot of stuff, I can get another bag to carry stuff. Raincoat or small umbrella if I really know it's going to rain, and I'll leave that out that day if I don't need it. The business card, small notebook and pen. I usually keep a list of what I'm looking for because I'll start forgetting. And like I said, you don't always have great cell phone coverage out there. Ziplocs are great when you're getting little parts. You want to throw them in a Ziploc rather than throwing them in the bottom. I always bring a thing of water. Vendors, there's lots of water there, but out in the flea market, they kind of discourage people from selling water. Somebody always is, and you can pick up water for $1 there. Sunglasses or reading glasses. I have a little knife, screwdriver, and voltmeter I bring. There's so much you can test real quick because it's buyer beware with everything you buy at a hamfest. And then I think I said cash. Transportation. Well, I've flown out there and rented a car, and I've also driven out there. So the last couple of years we've driven out there, and you see all sorts of great things along the way. This is Rover. We ran and talked to her for about an hour going out one year, and then met her that time, and she didn't know who the heck we were. And I'm like, well, we just talked to you for an hour. But this is, you see so many great antennas on the way out there. Okay, day before contest universities, and one of the things, it's like $60, and that includes lunch and everything else. Like I was saying before, this is a great way to learn a lot. Parking. You can go and park your car with a sea of other cars. The first time they opened up in Xenia, there was like a 2-hour wait to get in because they didn't quite get the traffic control down. They fixed it for the next year. But there's also buses that come in. So we park at an outer spot and take a little bus, and it takes you almost right up to the door. Of course, along the way, you may see another car like this. Just a few antennas. And then these are people movers. So when you park in the remote lots, they drop you off, and they have this little, all these tractors with the little people movers here. And they're actually kind of fun. You get to sit in there, and you bring your stuff in, and there you go off. The grass is nice and green. You get to see the next group come up, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, then you're at the front gate. The gates open at 8, and everybody, because of security, goes in one gate at the time. And as you can see, everybody lines up, and it's a lot of fun. They all wait till 8 o'clock for the big countdown. They let you in. This is what the front gate looks like. You start seeing emergency vehicles on the side here, and it's really just kind of a neat situation going through. You see the DARA, because they make a lot of money off of this, they have all sorts of really neat emergency vehicles. This is one of them that you can go tour. And this is what it looks like. The big oval down there is where the flea market is. They have several different buildings that everything is split up. And food trucks will all line inside of here for the food. And if you remember the old Hera Arena, the food sucked. It really did. And now they have a million different food trucks that are fantastic. My suggestion as a pro tip, go about 11 o'clock to eat lunch, because at noon there's a lot of lines. And then they last till about 2. Another quick looking at it there. This is one of the big buildings that they have there. They're building an extra building just for us to have, and they kicked one of their longtime vendors out of another building so that they could have all these buildings for the Hamvention. Once again, people walking through. They have the police up there with their little things. And finally, this is the first day. Like I said before, you want to drop your ticket. They give you a nice brochure that tells you where all the vendors are and a map. You want to grab one of those, make sure you have a hat, grab some water, and then you're going to start the walk. I think the first time I went, I put about 25,000 steps in just the first day, and you'll see why in a few minutes. So you literally have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people out in that flea market selling stuff. And unlike the old Hera, where people would just buy a spot to park their car so they didn't have to go so far, pretty much every spot here is people selling this year. You don't know what you're going to find there. I thought this was great one year. I didn't want to really buy it, but property of the White House Communication Agency. And it's a hamfest. You name it, you'll see it there. Got a couple other different things, some boat anchors and keys, and like I said, typical hamfest, just on steroids. Okay, you'll see some people you know out there. If you know Jeff from G&G Electronics, he's always there, he's always in the thing, and it's the same stuff you saw at our hamfest. So, then every once in a while it might rain. Now remember, you're on an indoor track. And the first year, there was a little bit of mud. So that, now go back to why I had the boots and why I had the plastic bag for the boots. It really was kind of torrential downpour for a little while, and it just kind of made it a little bit fun. So the next year, they put all this asphalt clippings in there, and then this year they're even expanding that. Much better the second year. So that the rain, I think there was a little bit of rain, but it really wasn't too bad. Next, the forums. The forums are great. I've gone to, you have everything, like if you watch Ham Nation, those guys always have a forum. But if you want to know the latest in FT8 or the latest in satellites, someone's there giving a speech on it, and you really can see a huge amount, get a lot of information there. Some forums, as you can see, you'll have a few people. Some are completely packed, and they're there every single day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Some of them are live streams, so you actually can go in and see some of this stuff on the internet. This is just a quick synopsis of a couple of hours for Friday. You can see everything from Mars, D-Star, kit building, member forum, digital contesting, homeland security, balloons, Amstat, AR membership meetings, fox hunting, you name it. If you're interested in it, there's probably a forum out there. And you can apply to actually give a speech, but you go in front of a group that they make sure that you're going to give a good talk. So these aren't just anybody like me coming up there. There's actually professionals doing it. Okay, lots of fun things. This is when I got my extra. Gordon West, thank you. He's always there. He's great. I still remember he stopped everything and said, "This is Scott Johnson. He just passed his extra." And everybody around the clapped. I was like almost in tears in my eyes because, you know, let's face it, my wife's not that excited that I passed another test. So that's one of the main fun things you see out there. Food. All these food trucks are out there. I think it's just so much better. Barbecue, beef, vegetarian, you name it. And I think this is just I did a little quick going around here at about lunchtime here. And you see all the different buildings where all the vendors are on the inside, and go around, you name it, ice cream, there's burgers, there's chicken, there's veggie stuff, there's beer gardens back that way. So it's really a lot of fun. Okay, let's go inside. Inside you can, Quicksilver radio, you name it, the vendors are in there, what you want to sell and buy. Who to see? So there's a couple of famous things. If you go out there, you're going to see somebody we call the Cat in the Hat guy, Antenna Girl, Bob Heel Sound, he is always there. Gordo we talked about, Martin Zhu from MFJ is there, and a lot of your friends are going to be out there. People you've met before on the air, you'll be able to see them in person. And there's the Ham Nation guys, Martin June right there. One of the Yaesu booths here. They have full-size towers they're showing, which I always thought is crazy that you go in there and someone's bringing that tower in case you want to buy a tower. Every little piece you can get in there. That's Antenna Girl. It's not a very good thing. But there's two women who go around who have antennas going way up in crazy hair. But you see them at every single Hamvention. It's a lot of fun. Okay, there's the Cat in the Hat guy, Joe from K0NEB out of Nebraska, NEB. Nice guy. If you go out on the internet, he takes a ton of pictures, and he has every year a slideshow set to music that you can go see all the highlights from that year. Prizes. Like I said, you go in to do the tickets, tons and tons of prizes. And the way they work it is they put your prize in there. Let's say you win a roll of coax or you win something like that. If you don't pick it up at the very end on Sunday, they have a big room and they just sit there and start picking out tickets until they give away everything. And then for the big prizes, all the tickets go back in and you may win one of the big prizes. I haven't won a prize yet, so I think I'm due this year. Another thing of Kenwood there. Just lots of little things with people going through. ARL has a huge, huge group out there. So whether you're into training or advocacy or emergency communications or DXing, they have little individual booths. You can take your HT and get it tested for seeing if it's within spec. They have a hands-on group, let's see, right there, where you can go make stuff. They have kits that you can do, which is a lot of fun too. If you buy a lot of stuff and can't fit it home or you've flown out there, United States Postal Service is there. They'll box it up for you for a small fee. So if you got that boat anchor out there, I wouldn't really recommend doing that. There's a special event station you can work that's going on during the whole show. And streaming. W5KUB has a whole thing set up. He does interviews. He has a camera on a helmet that he goes around and watches everything. You can sign up for this online. And he actually has, I don't know, 30 or 40 prizes that they give out. I mean, really nice stuff for just the people who can't make it, who are watching it online. So that's always a lot of fun. This is just one. If every other ham podcaster and show is got something going on out there, you can see them all roaming around. And let's see. So at the end of the day, remember I talked about that mud? There's the people movers, and that's why they have those tractors, because those tractors can go through anything. Once again, that was the first year. The second year was much, much better. Okay, let's see. Oh, there we go. And I'll tell you, even though those tractors, you're going back and forth a little bit on that. Okay, so at night, now you've done it, and of course most of us are tired, ready to go to have a little dinner and go to bed, but no. All night long, there are pizza parties. This is a ham band. They're all hams, and they come out every year and do one of the banquets. There's DX banquets. There's just people that some of the vendors do different things. So you can go out there, and most of the hotels, you'll find another group of hands. 4 days in May, one night's vendor night, one night's a dinner, if you're interested in that, and another night's just social. And finally, on your way out, you got to watch out for this guy here, because he's got a few antennas going on there. So, okay, other things to do while you're out there. Definitely, Sunday is a lower. You can get better bargains there because but the flea market really dries up very quickly. I'll be honest to you. The National Museum of U.S. Air Force is worth a couple of hours. Really a great show out there. There's a couple other things going on this year, but I will say, if you do go all the way out there, definitely you want to maybe check out the U.S. Air Force Museum. It's kind of like the Uber Hazy is here. Last year, this is what I ended up with. If you go to, when you get your ticket, a lot of people laminate it, and I'll go through this in a second, but you take it over to Yazoo, and they will put a little hole in it right there, and they give you a hat. So when I say don't forget your hat, you can always get a free hat from Yazoo while you're out there. Sometimes Kenwood has it, sometimes else. You see a bunch of screwdrivers for like $0.25 each. Hap Perry somehow convinced me that I needed 2 pieces of Heathkit equipment there. That scanner, somebody was having like an auction on it, and so it's like a $300 scanner, and I think I put down $50 and got it, and Kevin Lewis was like, I should have put 55 down on it because he's a big scanner guy. And you can see, I think we got a little HT there and a couple of other things. There's lots of groups that give out the grid charts that we had this year, frequency charts, stickers that say I'm monitoring this or hamming this. I got some antenna stuff, just a lot of little things. So you can see you get a little bit of everything. If you go by the ARRL booth, they give you a little pin. So every year you can get a different new pin for that year. So that's kind of a little bit what I got there. And if you can't make it, you can plan it for next year, 2020. That's Tom Mendelson is the person who has the streaming. There's lots of D-Star information out there and also DMR information if you want to try to get in. Yes, sir.
There's free admission this year?
Yeah, free admission on Sunday. Pay attention. No. Free admission on Sunday, but if you go out there, you want to be there the other 2 days. Sunday, the vendors are still there. There's a couple of good forums that day, but the flea market really goes down. So, and let's see. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell, but let me go over. What I'm going to do is show you what I have in my backpack here. I bring this backpack to just about every hamfest. So what I always do, always have water. In the main area there, little voltage checker, yeah, screwdriver, and a knife, and snack if I need it. Have my ticket for this year. Have my map or my forum sheet printed out. I'll probably take the download the map right before I go out, and I just circle either places in the flea market or vendors I want to go see, so that makes it really easy to go in there. Sunscreen. Always lube up out there. Little pad of paper. R&L Electronics gives you one of these, which is great. My badge if I'm not wearing one of my shirts. I always throw in a couple of Ziplocs because they're always handy to have, whether it starts raining and I need to put something in, or more likely lots of little pieces. Couple of quarters because you always find that guy with a 25-cent thing that you don't really want to give him $1 for. Like I said, I have little business cards done up. And then in the main package here, extra grocery bag that's pretty heavy duty, and you could really stuff these things pretty good. My jacket if I need it. Like I said, a lot of times I'll keep that out. And finally, like I said, here are the grid maps that I got last year, which I haven't put up in my shack yet. But I have some extras if anybody needs one. And a hat, extra battery, and I think that's about it. I didn't bring the umbrella tonight because, a little rain isn't going to hurt me. I hear it grows hair up here, though, so you should be having yours off. Yes, sir.
Sandwich.
Ham sandwich. That's one of Bill's. No, we won't go Bill jokes. Okay, other questions? There's a lot I'm sure I didn't cover here. I should tell you I'm pretty excited. I've gone out there now every year since 2011. There's always something different. I always come home with something I never expected to come home with before. Kevin and I just have a great time out there. We share a room out there. We eat halfway bad food, sometimes good food, but halfway bad food. And it's just a lot of fun. You do a lot of walking. I really will emphasize about having your shoes out there and start a list. I've started a list of little things I might want because once you get out there, you'll forget about it. And so if there's certain rigs you want to go look at or certain parts that you want, it's good to have that list so you can look at it real quick. Each night I usually take everything out, put it aside. I take a picture of it so the next day I can remember, did I buy that yesterday? And there it is. So, great. Other questions? Yes?
How much cash do you carry?
That's what kind of my wife is watching this online. Probably $20. No,
Factor is slipping. In other words, the
flea markets use cash, so I probably bring about $1,000 out. I probably bring most of that home, or I use it for food and all out there, in case there's something I just feel I can't live without. Or if I know, like one year I definitely was going out looking for like I say, an antenna analyzer, and I'll look online and say, okay, well, new they're $300. I want to spend about $100, so I do my cash accordingly there and look at it that way. So that's one thing I will say is kind of try to figure out some prices ahead of time. Some people really have expensive stuff there. Other people are just getting rid of it. It's always buyer beware. So usually at night I go back the first night and try it out and see if I can get it to work or not. That way at least I have on Saturday, they're probably still there if I need to go back. To be honest with you, I've never had a problem with anything I bought there. People are pretty honest. Like any flea market and any hamfest, you can bargain with just about everybody, except Pat Perry. He does not like to bargain. So, yes?
When I was out, but did you talk about the deals that the new vendors, the big vendors
Oh,
offer?
good point. If you're looking at a new rig, you go to around and talk to the vendors, because a lot of them will, even if it's like 10, 20, or $50 off, it's cheaper than you would be able to get it back here at HRO. And they'll mail it to you. A lot of them will have them there. and you really can get good deals on newer. It's probably the best way to get the newer equipment is to get it out there from one of the vendors.
For example, all the big vendors are like DX Engineering, Ham Radio Outlet, they're all going to have a sale below their normal sale price during Hamvention.
During Hamvention. And DX, at least last year, had their show specials online at the same time. So you can, if you don't go out there, you're looking at one of these, it's a good time to go that weekend and kind of look at what people have online for those prices out there. Good point.
Continuing on the theme of food, if anybody's gone to the Hera Arena version of Hamvention, the Xenia venue with the tremendous variety of food trucks, it's like a state fair.
It is.
But the thing that impressed me, it was thrilling, that by contrast, the tables, the spaces for meeting people and spending time with people very comfortably, if the weather permits, is phenomenal.
It really is. We should probably figure out one corner to go to. At what we used to do at Hera, there were these big wheels from cables, big telephone cables that were over on its side that you use as tables. So we always met there like at noon. So I think that's good. But you walk around, all of a sudden, you're looking at people's call signs like, I think I worked that guy before. So, and you really don't know who you're going to run into out of these things. And you run into everybody. So it's a lot of fun. I can't stress enough, you should go at least once. You get hooked on it. It's like one of our, it's our annual little trip out there. And, you can, I think if you stay at the college, it's like $50 a night or something like that. And there's, you don't have to spend a lot of money. It's $22 to get in, and you can go to the forums all day, or you can go to some of these other things. Really, you get a lot for your dollar out there. It really is. And the people out in Ohio are just really nice. They bend over backwards to help you out. So, good. Yes, sir.
If you're wrapping up, I'd like to make a general comment about hamfest, if it's appropriate.
Go ahead.
So this is like 20, 30,000 people, right? The other equivalent competitor to this is in February in Florida.
Right.
And it's called Hamvention. Hamvention. It's about 25 to 30,000 people.
And do they have as much flea market space?
No.
No.
And there is a competition between those two, what will be called National Hamfest. Then there's a whole group of large regional. Our regional here is probably Richmond. Richmond's really a small regional. In comparison to the national, the regionals are somewhere around 1,000, maybe 1,500 participants. So there's a big drop, right? We're a local Hamfest, right, at Winterfest. We had 450 people this year-ish or so through walk-in people. That's really small potatoes in the world of these companies like HRO or R&L or even the manufacturers like Yaesu and Kenwood. They will not get enough business to put their show on at our place.
And Hamvention has grown. They're very worried when they switched the venue that it would go down, but what they've seen every year, I think for probably the last 8 or 9 years, is just attendance keeps going up, which is great. And this new venue, it had its quirks, but they're really doing quite well with it, and I was really impressed with it. No, yeah, so that's the famous thing at Hera. I was there that year where there was a sewage backup and raw sewage floating through the flea market area. Pooparoosa, I don't know what they're calling it. So, very good. Any other questions? Okay, we'll stop recording now, and then we'll do the. We don't want to do the giveaways live, do we? Oh, do it live. Who's got the cup? Got it over here? Oh, here we go. Does everybody have a ticket?
May I suggest a number?
Sure. Okay, should we go for, why can't I? Who wants to pick one? Here, just pick one in here. We'll just go across here.
I'll insert mine.
Okay, the first number is last three digits 497. All right. And we have for Mr. 497 there a copy of Machine Age to Jet Age, a guide to tabletop radios. All right. And we'll do this one more time. Grab one out of here.
If you haven't figured this out, these are door prizes from Hamfest.
Last three numbers are 519. Oh, all right. You get a copy of Transmitters, Exciters, and Power Amplifiers from 1930 to 1980. You can hold on to that, because at the end we'll put all the tickets back in. Next one. All right, ticket is 512. All right, and we have a $10 gift certificate from the RF adapter guy. All right, mix them up again. Oh, yes, it is. 518. 518? All right. And we have Discover DX. I think I'll give you something else. I have a, let's see. I'm going to give you a $10 gift certificate for the rope guy and a mug.
I'll take it.
Okay, let's see. Got two more, and then we'll do the grand prizes. Yeah, 516. All right, and we have a Discover DXing and a $10 gift certificate for the rope guy. All right. Here we go. Let's see. It is 515. All right. 515, and we have a $25 gift certificate to ARL for their thing. All right. Okay, I'm going to shake the cup up a little bit. I have two big prizes here. Should I put all the tickets in for the big prizes? No? Okay. Says the people who didn't win. Okay, we mixed them up again. All right. 498. All right. We have a $50 gift certificate from LDG Electronics at the Mountain, whatever, the Main Train Company. Okay, we got one more. Actually, yeah. If you pick your own number. All right. 502. All right. And we have a $50 gift certificate ARL. We had all these prizes that no one picked up. There we go. All right. So I have up here, if anybody would like a 2018 Dayton pin, you can prove that you were there, even if you weren't. I have a couple of these up here, and there's a couple of ICOM pens up here. But that's it. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight.